guaranteeing safety for our citizens.
Please, it's more than that, and you know it.
Dr. Sherman stares at Anna for a beat, then sits in a chair next to a small table. He wipes Anna's arm with an alcohol wipe, then picks up a needle and jabs it into her shoulder. Anna winces. Dr. Sherman draws the virus from another vial into a different needle. He wipes Carlos's arm with an alcohol wipe and injects the needle.
That just leaves Janelle.
Smiles.
It's been a very productive day. Rest easy.
Dr. Sherman heads for the door.
Doctor,
Dr. Sherman turns and faces them.
you're gonna let us go, right?
Dr. Sherman holds his stare for a beat, then leaves. In the cafeteria, day. Mrs. Chang, Jacob, and Janelle are having breakfast. The cafeteria door opens. Carlos and Anna are escorted in by security guard 2. Mrs. Chang and Janelle run over to greet them.
Are you okay?
Anna turns her arm to show the bandage.
Oh
Anna nods. She looks past Janelle and sees Jacob. His back is to her. Anna gets her food and hot tea, then sits at the table across from Jacob. Jacob swallows his food, then smiles at Anna.
Hello, Anna.
Anna takes a bite of her food and raises the tea to her lips, but instead tosses it in Jacob's face. Jacob screams.
no. Are you crazy?
He told Sherman about our plan.
No, I didn't. I swear.
Janelle stares at Anna for a beat, then looks at Jacob, who whimpers as he touches his face. Interior, Dr. Larson's office, day. Dr. Larson is at her desk. Security guard 1 enters with Anna and forces her into a chair. He stands behind her.
You can leave.
Are you sure?
Dr. Larson nods. Security guard 1 leaves. Dr. Larson stares at Anna's arm.
So you've been infected.
He gave it to me and Carlos.
I'm sorry. Maybe the vials he used on you both won't be potent either.
Or maybe they are. We need you to get the vaccine and needles.
Dr. Larson stands and paces.
I don't know.
If you've been exposed, we need to get the vaccine ASAP. You promised you'd help.
All right, I'll try.
No, you'll do it.
She returns to her desk. Dr. Larson grabs a pack of cigarettes, lights one, and takes a long drag. Dr. Sherman's office, tonight. Dr. Sherman is at his desk. He grabs a bottle of whiskey and refills his glass. Picks up a framed picture from his desk and looks at it. On screen, a photo of a young woman, 20s, leaning against a tree. His eyes start to well up with tears. A knock.
Come in.
Dr. Larson enters.
Hello, doctor. Were you able to calm Ms. Rodriguez down?
She's very stressed. Maybe we should give her a sedative.
You're close, doctor. Once Janelle receives the virus from vial number 6, we'll know if Mr. Chang's vial is the only one that's potent or not.
Dr. Larson looks at the bottle of whiskey.
May I?
Sure.
Dr. Sherman opens a drawer and grabs a glass. He's about to hand it to Dr. Larson when, whack! Dr. Larson hits him over the head with the whiskey bottle. Broken glass, liquor, and blood cover Dr. Sherman's head. He's out cold, his head on the desk. Dr. Larson reaches into Dr. Sherman's medical coat pocket and finds his keys. Biology room. Moments later, Dr. Larson enters. Dr. Patel is looking in a microscope.
Hi, doctor. Can I help you with anything?
Dr. Larson shakes the keys.
I need sedatives for Rodriguez. Dr. Sherman gave me his keys to get it.
That's strange. He was supposed to come down here and look at the blood work from Mrs. Chang.
Well, he's a little busy right now.
She motions like she's taking a drink.
You're kidding.
No?
Well, what do you know? He had all of us sign a contract saying we won't drink while we're here. I'm glad I brought some Stoli in my water bottle.
Well, the way he was tossing him back, I don't think you're going to see him tonight. I'd take a long break if I were you.
Good idea. See you later, doc.
Dr. Patel leaves. Dr. Larson dashes to the cold storage mini fridge. She opens it and scans the vials. On screen, vials with vaccine written on them. She grabs one that opens drawers and finds needles, alcohol wipes, and bandages. Interior, women's tent. Moments later, Dr. Larson enters.
I've got it. Who's first?
She places the items on the table. Anna, Janelle, and Mrs. Chang rush over to her.
Me?
The others look at her.
50 before age, right? Besides, I'm the only one that hasn't been given the virus.
Anna smirks.
That's fine.
Dr. Larson wipes Janelle's arm with an alcohol wipe, then draws the vaccine into a needle and injects her. Anna covers it with a bandage.
You next, Mrs. Chang.
Suddenly, a loud alarm and a male voice over the PA system.
Code blue and lower level, code blue and lower level.
Someone's crashing.
Maybe Carlos or Jacob.
We were fine earlier.
She paces for a moment.
It's Mr. Chang.
Mrs. Chang's eyes are wide.
No! Dr. Schumann said he was taken to the hospital.
Anna shakes her head.
Another lie.
Mrs. Chang lowers her head. Mr. Chang's room, same. Dr. Patel is in a hazard suit. He grabs defibrillator pads from a nearby table, puts them on Mr. Chang's chest, and presses the button. The vital sign monitor beeps loudly. Dr. Fisher, along with nurse 1 and 2, dash into the room, also in hazmat suits.
Where's Dr. Sherman?
I heard he was in his office.
Dr. Patel turns to nurse 1.
How's security get him? Staff.
Dr. Fisher assists Dr. Patel. Nurse 1 runs out of the room. Interior, women's tent, continuous. Dr. Larson gives Anna a vaccine, then turns to Mrs. Chang.
You're next.
Mrs. Chang shakes her head.
No, I don't want to live if my husband dies.
Please, Mrs. Chang.
We don't have time for this.
I don't want it.
What are we gonna do?
We need to give the vaccine to Carlos.
He's in the men's tent with Jacob.
Anna and Dr. Larson head out of the tent.
Dr. Sherman to lower level. Dr. Sherman to lower level.
Mrs. Chang stands quiet. Janelle eases Mrs. Chang into a chair, kneels in front of her, and holds her hands.
You have to take the vaccine when you come back, okay?
Mrs. Chang nods. Janelle looks at Mrs. Chang's hands. On screen, the bandage on her hand is unattached. Janelle sees that her hand has no cut or stitches. She looks into Mrs. Chang's face.
You didn't get the implant?
Mrs. Chang looks down at Janelle for a beat, then gives her a headbutt. Quack! Janelle collapses on the floor. In the gym, Anna and Dr. Larson head to the men's tent. In the opposite direction, security guard 1 runs toward them, then passes them.
We have to hurry.
Dr. Sherman's office, same. Security guard 2 enters and finds Dr. Sherman slowly trying to rise from the floor.
Dr. Sherman,
Dr. Sherman groans. Security guard 2 lifts him up and gets him into a chair.
who did this?
Dr. Larson.
Men's tent, continuous. Carlos gets the vaccine from Dr. Larson. Jacob watches.
Shouldn't I get it too?
Why should you get anything, snitch?
I didn't tell them, Mom.
Quit lying.
I promise. He wanted to try and convince you to participate.
Flashback, men's tent. Dr. Sherman and Jacob are standing together. Security guard 2 stands nearby.
What did you want to tell me?
Jacob shakes his head.
Can you let the woman go? I volunteer at the homeless shelter. There are men there that have nothing and would gladly take the risk. I could give them hope.
Dr. Sherman smiles.
Why are you wasting my time? Let's go.
He leaves the tent. End flashback.
I swear to you, Anna, I stole from the Russian government before I came here. And 2 of my best friends were killed. I would rather die than have that happen again.
Anna looks at Dr. Larson suspiciously.
Would I be here now if it was me?
Anna nods.
Give it to him.
Dr. Larson rubs an alcohol wipe on Jacob and injects him with the vaccine, then covers it with a bandage.
So what's the next move?
How did they know?
Hey, I saw something in the security office yesterday.
Quick flash. Carlos stares at the video monitor. We see 2 blips on the screen. Back to scene.
The implant. Didn't see her, Mrs. Chang.
What?
On the video screen. There should have been 3 blips on the video screen. There were only 2.
She's in with them.
Why didn't she tell them about Dr. Larson helping us?
They probably decided to see how things played out with her husband first.
Security guard 1 enters. Jacob dives at him. They struggle, then Jacob gets on top of him. He swings and lands a powerful punch on his nose. Security guard 1 is out.
Now what?
We have to get out of here.
Not without Janelle.
Let's split up. Jacob and I can get Janelle. You and Carlos find a way out of here.
Anna nods. She dashes out of the tent with Carlos. Jacob grabs security guard 1's gun from the holster and checks the bullet chamber. Dr. Larson watches.
I think this will help us both.
Mr. Chang's room. Dr. Sherman enters now wearing surgical gown, head cover, and gloves. On screen, the heart monitor shows a flat line. Nurse 2 turns off the monitor. Dr. Sherman takes a long look at Mr. Chang, then his watch.
Time of death, 8:25 p.m.
Security guard 2 opens the door for Dr. Sherman. Nurse 2 covers Mr. Chang with his sheet. Biology room. Dr. Sherman and security guard 2 enter with Dr. Patel. Dr. Sherman runs to the mini cold storage fridge. The door is ajar. Dr. Sherman turns to Dr. Patel.
Do you know what happened?
Dr. Patel shakes his head.
This whole project is in jeopardy.
Dr. Sherman slams his fist on the table.
Contact security and make sure all the exits are blocked, and find them now.
Women's tent. Janelle lies on the floor, hands bound with rope. Mrs. Chang stands above her. She has a gun with a silencer on. Security guard 3 enters.
Where's Rodriguez?
Mrs. Chang glares.
Why are you asking me? She's with Dr. Larson and Carlos. Hurry up and find them.
Security guard 3 dashes out of the room.
You're quite the actor, Mrs. Chang, or whatever your name is.
Mrs. Chang smirks.
Thank you. But it wasn't my choice to conform. The Americans never learn. They did the same thing with Tuskegee, Guatemala, even their own soldiers. If you're not Anglo, you're dispensable.
And what about Mr. Chang? Is he really your husband, or did you even have a son?
Yes, both were casualties. Every battle has them.
Why are you doing this?
Beijing has become like this country, immoral and corrupt. Our people throw away centuries of culture and tradition to become like the West.
Mrs. Chang lays her gun on the table and slowly moves to her cot.
We came here 5 years ago with a plan to end this takeover. We represent a powerful group, willing to risk everything to stop America from ruining us.
Mrs. Chang kneels and reaches under her cot.
With smallpox? That is insane.
We connected with lobbyists in Washington that don't want you or me here, and convinced them that fear is the only way to end immigration, both legal and illegal.
Mrs. Chang grabs her bag and pulls out a satellite phone and laptop. She places the laptop on the table and dials the phone.
Who are you calling?
Mrs. Chang waits a beat, then begins talking in Mandarin. Jacob and Dr. Larson enter. Jacob points a gun at Mrs. Chang.
Well, introducing our sweet, devoted wife, Mrs. Chang.
Dr. Larson walks over to Mrs. Chang and slaps her.
You're the monster.
She runs over to Janelle and helps her up.
The Changs have been against us all along.
Jacob grabs the phone and begins to dial.
Put the phone down.
Jacob turns to face security forward.
Just ordering takeout.
He pushes Jacob further into the tent. Dr. Sherman's office saying, Anna and Carlos charge into the room. Anna sits at Dr. Sherman's desk and tries to sign on his laptop. On screen, please provide password. Anna types.
Go over.
On screen, invalid password. Anna types again.
Try Variola.
The computer beeps. Invalid password. Anna hits the desk and looks around. She sees the framed news article of a young man. Below the photo, there's a caption. On screen, college student killed in robbery by illegal immigrant. Anna types.
Natalie, 1202.
The system boots up.
Bingo.
Anna types again. A video message pops up. Anna opens it. On screen, General Cummings video message.
Sherman, I haven't heard from you. When will you be sending them back to their countries?
You'll get immunity and full citizenship. What a low-low.
No loose ends. You hear me? If this isn't going as planned, abort now with no physical evidence. And I mean none. Understand?
Anna stares at the screen as the message ends. She turns to Carlos. She Googles Chicago Police Department, then turns to Carlos.
What's the address?
On screen, contact police for emergency. Anna clicks the option. The computer is linking to the website.
We're at 1329 West Argyle.
Anna types. On screen, I need help. I'm at. The laptop is suddenly slammed shut. Security guard 2 stands across the desk from Anna, a gun with a silencer in her face. Dr. Sherman stands beside her.
Get up, Miss Rodriguez.
She slowly rises. Security guard 4 speaks over the two-way radio.
We're in the women's tent.
Dr. Sherman smiles.
Good work. Time to reunite everyone in the cafeteria.
Moments later, cafeteria. Anna, Carlos, Dr. Larson, Janelle, and Jacob stand together facing Dr. Sherman, Mrs. Chang, Security Guard 1, and Security Guard 4.
You've all been very busy, haven't you?
He looks at the bandages over on their arms.
I'm so disappointed in all of you.
He takes Mrs. Chang's gun and points it at them.
Your decision to renege on our agreement is going to cost.
Why don't you admit what this is really about?
It's about millions of dollars in research lost.
Anna leans in.
No, it's not. It's about revenge for Natalie.
Dr. Sherman nostrils flare.
Who's Natalie?
Natalie Sherman was Dr. Sherman's daughter. She was robbed at gunpoint 3 years ago and shot to death.
What does that have to do with us? We didn't kill her.
Birds of a feather. Right, Doctor?
We did nothing to us.
Dr. Sherman shakes hands.
She was beautiful, smart, a freshman at Stanford University. My ex-wife was so depressed, she took a handful of sleeping pills.
Dr. Sherman clears his throat.
Their deaths would never have happened if that piece of trash hadn't come here illegally.
Anna speaks to Mrs. Chang.
How could you be a part of this?
Mrs. Chang's satellite phone rings. She speaks, then hangs up and turns to Dr. Sherman.
Everything's in place.
Security guard 2 enters.
Watch them.
Mrs. Chang and Dr. Sherman walk over to the desk and watch Mrs. Chang's laptop. On the laptop, an aerial view of a building in China. Mrs. Chang and Dr. Sherman are transfixed. They wait. The sound of an explosion is heard through the speakers.
What did you do?
Dr. Sherman goes back to them.
The CDC in Beijing was just blown to smithereens.
We've done our part, Dr. Sherman. It won't be long before it hits the newswire.
And our lobbyists will put the heat on Congress to have an emergency vote to get all of Americans out of China. And once Mr. Chang's body is found there, they'll also stop any flights coming in from Beijing. We wanted to strike Trinidad, Russia, and Honduras at the same time, but
We took the vaccine.
yes, you've delayed things, but we'll have another plan in play very soon.
Dr. Larson moves toward Dr. Sherman.
Your daughter's death is a tragedy, but what you're doing is not right. So please, end this madness.
Dr. Sherman walks over to the security guard 1 and holds his hand open for the gun. He gives it to Dr. Sherman. He turns to Dr. Larson and points it at her.
Don't be stupid, Doctor.
Bang! Dr. Larson falls to the ground. Janelle begins to shake. Dr. Sherman gives his attention back to the others.
Now, where was I?
Jacob leaps on Dr. Sherman.
Run!
Anna and Janelle scramble out of the cafeteria. Carlos swings and hits security guard 2 in the gut. Security guard 2 is doubled over as Carlos grabs his arm. They struggle for the gun. It goes off and security guard 2 is shot in the left leg. Across the room, Jacob overpowers Dr. Sherman.
You're a sick bastard.
Mrs. Chang aims and fires at Jacob's back. She hits her mark. Jacob is wide-eyed. He drops the gun. Dr. Sherman grabs it. Jacob falls forward on Dr. Sherman, dead. Dr. Sherman pushes his body away. He rises and points his gun at Carlos.
Don't move.
He nods at Mrs. Chang.
Go get them.
She sprints out of the room. In the hall, Anna and Janelle dash down the hall. Anna tries the door. It's locked. On the other side of the door, secluded storage area, continuous. A doctor, female, 40s, and nurse 3, male, 30s, share a passionate kiss. They stop while the doorknob is turned. The doorknob stops moving. They resume their romantic interlude. In the hall, security guard 4 spots Janelle and Anna at the other end of the hall. They head back the way they came. Mr. Chang stands blocking their path. Anna and Janelle stop and catch their breath.
Are you praying?
Yeah.
Good, because we need a miracle.
She spots a fire alarm a few feet away. Anna rushes to the fire alarm and pulls it. The piercing sound of the bell fills the building. The medical team suddenly rushes toward the exit. Dr. Patel pushes his way past everyone in a panic. At the entrance, Dr. Fisher blocks the doorway. He smiles at Dr. Patel and the others. Relax, everyone. Everything's fine. The sound of sirens are faintly heard by all. Anna and Janelle stand behind the staff. Dr. Fisher looks past Dr. Patel at the window. Behind them, Mrs. Chang runs back to the cafeteria. Security guard 4 glares at them as they pass. His gun now in the holster. They get closer to the door. The fire truck sirens get louder and closer. Cafeteria. Mrs. Chang enters and grabs her satellite phone.
This is your fault, Sherman. You need to get your people in here now before we're all exposed.
Dr. Sherman grabs his two-way radio. He changes frequency and speaks.
Okay, guys, you're on.
Second floor, employee rest area, same. 6 men in coveralls sit around a table playing poker. Man in coveralls 1 speaks into a two-way radio.
10-4, doctor, we're on our way.
The men grab guns and rush out of the room. Cafeteria. Carlos looks at the bodies of Jacob and Dr. Larson.
What about me?
She shoots security guard 2 in the heart. She turns to Carlos.
If you want to see your family again, you'll do as I say.
At the entrance, the fire marshal 40s and the fire chief 40s enter. The medical team watches as they enter. Dr. Fisher talks to them.
It was a false alarm, so you can...
No, I pulled it.
Anna and Janelle run to the men. Please, these people are dangerous.
They want to kill us.
The fire chief turns to Dr. Fisher.
What are they talking about?
Let us show you.
Some of the detainees have mental instability, hallucinations. We keep them sedated, but sometimes it wears off and
Guess we're done here.
Please, our friend is in that room.
We are not hallucinating. It's the truth.
The men are silent. They share a look. Then the fire chief nods.
Show us.
Anna and Janelle run to the cafeteria, followed by the fire chief. At the door, before they can enter, Carlos steps out of the room. Anna hugs Carlos.
Thank God you're okay.
Carlos's eyes blink rapidly.
Of course I'm okay.
Carlos, tell them about the smallpox.
Don't go right.
Anna searches Carlos's face and nods.
They got to you.
I'm perfectly fine. You won't go ahead.
Carlos shuffles his feet as he turns to the men.
Gentlemen, Miss Rodriguez and Miss King don't know a pancake from a waffle.
Don't listen to him.
There are dead bodies behind that door.
Carlos scratches his nose.
Haven't you cost the taxpayers these gentlemen enough time and money?
The fire marshal and fire chief nod, then head for the door. Anna and Janelle watch them leave.
okay, everyone, back to work.
Dr. Sherman opens the cafeteria door. Security guard 4 pushes Janelle and Anna back inside. Exterior, Marconi School, same. The fire chief and fire marshal stand and look back into the building.
What do you think?
I was ready to believe Carlos, but
I know. Either he's the worst liar ever or he was trying to tip us off.
so what do we do?
Cafeteria, same. Mrs. Chang smiles as they enter.
Welcome back.
Dr. Sherman pulls off his blood-stained surgical gown and tosses it to the floor. She glances at her watch.
I have to get to the airport. Starting today, my country will return to greatness. Our economy may suffer, but it will be worth it. It will be a great tribute to my husband.
In the stairwell, the men in coveralls scramble down the stairs. Cafeteria. The men in coveralls enter the room, followed by security guard 4.
One of you drive Mrs. Chang to the airport. When you're done here, come to my office. There'll be a few more issues to deal with.
Mrs. Chang grabs her bag, laptop, and phone, then follows man in coveralls 2 out of the room. The others begin their cleanup. Dr. Sherman leads Janelle, Carlos, and Anna out of the room, followed by security guard 4. The group walks down the hall.
Doctor!
The fire marshal and fire chief jog over to the group. Dr. Sherman glares at Dr. Fisher, then turns to the men.
I tried to stop him, Doctor.
What's going on?
We think these ladies are suffering from mental anguish or some type.
They could be a danger to your employees.
They turn to the women.
So if you voluntarily decide to come, we can get you the help you need.
The women nod vigorously.
Let's go.
The women turn and follow the fire marshal. The fire chief turns to Carlos.
You seem a little out of it too.
Oh yes, I'm a basket case.
Come with us.
The group leaves.
Now what?
Give me your phone.
Dr. Fisher pulls his cell phone out of medical scrubs. Exterior, building, night. Carlos, Janelle, and Anna are put into the EMT truck. The fire marshal and fire chief stand at the truck entrance.
How long have you guys been here?
Too long.
We'll get you out of here soon.
The sound of sirens in the distance. Anna turns to the fire chief.
Did you call the police?
Nope.
She turns to Janelle.
What's your best time running a mile?
What?
What's your best time?
5 minutes.
Anna shakes her head.
I'm 6. Guess it's gotta be you.
You're right.
Anna takes Janelle's hand.
More trouble on the way here, so you